I'll do it.
Hey, welcome to Bollox, Talks, and Tangents. Blake put a lot of pressure on me coming into this show. I was trying to share the show. I failed miserably. I'm trying to do it right now. But it's 6:34 and it's Thursday. It's time to laugh and learn with Bollox, Talks, and Tangents. You got the Blevins boys in the studio. My man Blake, say hi, Blake.
Hi.
All right. So today we're talking about the 7 wonders of the world. I forgot to put my whiskey up. I put the whiskey in my glass, but I forgot to put the whiskey up again. 2 weeks in a row, Blake, I did that. But today we're talking 7 natural wonders of the world. There's a lot of wonders of the world. There's man-made, there's ancient wonders, but there's only 7 natural wonders of the world. And the other ones we're talking about dangerous jobs. So we got some fun topics. But before we do all that, I got to say thank you to all our amazing sponsors. First one I got to bring up is I'm gonna try and make a quick grab. Blake, are you ready? A quick grab for my bottle here, and got it. Whew. Okay, you can see it now. Boop. It is St. Augustine Distillery, and City Gate's going to put it up on its little place over here. All right, now we're ready. Feel better prepared for it now, right, Blake?
Yes.
Studio looks better.
It looks a little bit better than what it was. Still got some tripod poles behind the Florida flag.
All right. Well, you know, I'm on my 3rd show of the day today, so for an old man, it's not too bad. But St. Augustine Distillery and City Gates Distillery, these guys have the best tasting tours in the country. Go check them out. City Gates located right there on the bayfront. St. Augustine Distillery located on Riberia. They have the ice plant attached to that. One of the best bourbons you'll have around, and just go check them out. Chesire Customs and Collisions, just always helping out in the community. They have the best paint shop in town. It's just state of the art. They go in, they paint your car, and then they bake it right there in front of you. It's super cool. Abare, Kresge and Associates, CPA. They've been a company I've trusted for decades. Really appreciate Billy and how he's helped me out with all my different businesses and getting everything straight with that. If you think you're saving money by not paying and doing your own taxes, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Pay them, get your taxes right, and save money by having it done by a professional. All right, this gentleman I saw today, Meehan's Irish Pub, Reggie, was out there working on the bar there and just crushing it, works hard. His staff is right there beside him, working hard. Just so good to the community. 3 bars in one. They have the oyster bar upstairs. They have the pub inside and the backyard. Just the best selection, the best Guinness you'll have here in the United States. All right. Also talk to this sponsor today. They're always doing great things. St. Augustine Pirate Museum. Wonderful people over there, Cindy and the crew, putting on great concerts at the Oak. They also run that. And at the Pirate Museum, they have over 800 artifacts. If you haven't been there, make sure you make it there. And last but not least, River and Fort. River and Fort, just the best view you're going to have in town. Wonderful food, great bourbon selection, which is important to me. And if you want to just enjoy a nice evening out on the deck and have a great meal, go to River and Fort, and you will not be disappointed. Blake, you know what? I'm going to let you lead off with the word of origins today. I think you got some really good ones. I think yours might be a little better than mine today. So
that's shocking to see because the last 2 times I was hosting this, you were very critical of me about it.
No, you did good last time. The first word origins you did were pretty lame. So this one, I think you outdid me on this one. So I'll see what you got.
All right. So my first one is elephant in the room. And so basically, what do you know? Like, what does elephant in the room mean?
Well, elephant in the room is like if it's an awkward situation and no one's really talking about it and it's uncomfortable. That's the elephant in the room. Like anytime Donald Trump's in the room, he's the elephant in the room. No one really wants to talk about it. So
you had to go to the one person that might get us demonetized on Facebook.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Sorry about that.
All right. right. So where you think? So I want you to guess where you think it came from. Like think about like a time period.
Well, we did white elephant, and the white elephant is like a bad gift. You give somebody a bad gift because taking care of an elephant takes a lot of work. So the elephant in the room, I don't know if it's a spinoff of that or if it's just the room's too small for an elephant, so it makes everyone feel uncomfortable in the room.
All right. So basically, the phrase originated in 1814 by Ivan Krylov. Yeah, he was a poet and a fabulist. He wrote a fable entitled "The Inquisitive Man," which tells the story of a man who goes to a museum and notices all sorts of tiny things, but fails to notice an elephant.
So he failed to notice the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Okay.
But when it comes to like the phrase like the elephant in the room, the Oxford Dictionary says that a New York Times article in 1959, what was the first, according to them, was the first written account of elephant in the room.
Okay.
When talking about like when the quote was, "Financing schools has become a problem about equal to having an elephant in the living room. It's so big you can't ignore it."
Yeah, that's the term. I understand it. So, all right, Blake. I'm gonna go with this one. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. You're the young dog. I'm the old dog. Can't teach. You've tried to teach me technology. How does it work out?
Bad.
It's usually pretty bad.
You still don't know how to turn off your alarm on your Google device. You just yell like stop timer. Like you just have to say stop.
Yeah. Well, I didn't grow up with that. So, old dog new tricks. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. It goes back to the mid 1500s. All right. And it's one of the oldest expressions in English, and basically it comes from a book that was published in 1533 is when it first appears in written, and it is the Book of Husbandry. So I guess it's the training of a husband is what this book was about, and it was written by a person by the name of John Fitzherbert, and that was the first time it was ever used in the written form was in 1534 in the Book of Husbandry. All right, what's your next one?
All right, so my next one is you're definitely familiar with this phrase. Time is money. Today.
That's I don't know if it could be any more appropriate than right before me coming on air today.
Yeah, you should have watched the Mike Davis show. Like at the beginning, he was mad.
I was so angry.
And word of advice to everyone: if you don't have to have subcontractors, don't have subcontractors.
Well, the billing I got from a subcontractor made my head blow up today.
All right. So. Anyway, so what does time is money mean to you personally? Because you're a busy man. Like, what does that like mean to you personally?
Well, everything that I do has a value. I mean, and time has a value. So if we're wasting time, it costs me money. Because I have so many different jobs, and if I'm squandering over here, then I'm losing money over here.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way I define time as money.
Yeah.
Because my time has a value.
I would agree with that as well. Yeah. So the phrase actually came up in an essay from one of the smartest Americans ever. I would personally say Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, my next one's a Ben Franklin one too.
Oh, I got so lucky. Yeah. So basically, this phrase came up in an essay called Advice to a Young Tradesman. It was part of a 1748 book collected by George Fisher called The American Instructor, in which Franklin wrote, "Remember that time is money."
Yeah. So that's pretty funny. We both have Ben Franklin.
Now is Ben considered an American? What's it called? Founding father. Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely a founding father.
But he never ran for president.
No, he was already pretty much at that age. He was like the oldest guy in Congress.
Yeah.
So he was very instrumental in dealing with the French.
Yeah.
And getting money from the French for the fight. He invented a ton of things like the bifocals, The Ben Franklin stove.
Yeah.
Still used today. Same type of stove still used today.
Yeah.
Did a lot of work with electricity. No, Ben, we might have to do a Founding Fathers show.
Yeah, we do. But
because the uniqueness of, because there's some pretty weird
people out there
that were a part of the Founding Fathers too.
Yeah, but who's like the most commonly like wrong associated like Founding Father? Like it was Alexander Hamilton, I think, right? Most people would assume that he wasn't the Founding Father.
He wasn't, or he was.
I thought like most people assumed that he was, but it turns out he kind of wasn't.
No, he was an assistant to Washington pretty much at that time. So, but thank goodness the play, everyone got to know a little bit more about him.
Yeah.
So it didn't end well. All right. So my Benjamin Franklin is old habits die hard. All right. Have you ever heard that?
Yes, I've experienced that multiple times, and I don't want to do those old habits, but yeah, I still do.
Yeah, everyone has habits, and because of my OCD, I repeat my habits quite a bit.
Don't leave the cabinet door open.
Oh no, that's probably number one for me. Drawers being left open, cabinet doors being left open.
Don't drink all the milk.
Well, if you do, let me know. Don't just leave it in there empty.
At least that little sliver.
Yeah, or like a splash. All right, old habits die hard. All right, it's not exactly known, but the first time it was in written form was by Benjamin Franklin. He penned the phrase in an article in 1758, and they actually say it might go back as far as 1450. All right, but it really didn't become popular. It didn't become popular until the mid-50s, when people were starting to try and stop smoking. And they started talking about smoking being such a bad habit, and it's so hard to stop.
Yeah.
And that's when it became everyday conversation, is old habits die hard. But it's ironic that you had a Ben Franklin when I had a Ben Franklin when, and it just shows you that we don't cross over in our research. So, all right. So, old habits die hard. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. What were your two?
Mine was Elephant in the Room and Time is Money.
Time is money. All right, Blake, you get to choose which way we're going to go.
All right. So I'm going to say most dangerous jobs first.
Most dangerous jobs. All right.
I have some really good ones. Here, here. Do you want to hear my five and you pick?
And here's you throw out the jobs and I'll pick one. But I figured you would go with modern day dangerous jobs, so I went with dangerous jobs of all time. Okay.
All right. So my five. All right. So my five are miners, not that Facebook, logging.
Yeah, with ER.
Yes. Truck drivers, roofers, and astronauts.
Astronauts. Oh, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
But because I bet by per 1,000, those numbers are pretty high.
Well, actually, they don't really have numbers for that. Like that, I think they do. I think there's obviously someone did a study about it, but I didn't see like the exact number. But obviously, stands like sitting in like a little capsule with a bunch of fuel behind you going up to space.
Yeah, you're basically sitting on a bomb going, and it went to the lowest bidder.
Yep.
So astronaut, let's talk about it. Does it give you any numbers? I mean, how many people have actually died as an astronaut?
So I actually didn't do the so actually I didn't find the exact numbers but I definitely think like based on like how few people have actually been in space compared to like the amount of people have died, like it's still pretty up there.
The percentage wise, it seems like it would be very high.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the Challenger, Columbia, and you had the guys that died on the launch pad and that's just the U.S. side.
Yeah, and it's still like unknown numbers from like Soviet Russia,
the Soviet Union. Yeah. I'm sure they won't release those numbers ever.
Yeah, but I want to focus on like one short term impact and like another and another part on long term impact because there's still like a lot of like health effects that astronauts deal with like once they return back to land. So obviously like the biggest like astronaut disaster of all time was the Challenger disaster. super awful tragedy. 7 people died. Christina McAuliffe, the teacher in space program. It was a sad day, and I know you told me like multiple times about like what was your impact, like what like you were out there like on your porch.
I was on my my balcony, down in Lake Mary, Sanford. I was going to Seminole, and we had canceled baseball practice, so the entire team was there. So the entire team was there, and was it January 27th,
It was January 28th, 1986.
Yeah, and it was my freshman year, and they had canceled baseball. And some of the guys that I lived with were from New York, and they had never seen a launch. So everyone was kind of excited about the launch. It was still fun to watch. And when it took off, it looked like everything was going fine, and then it splintered. From our perspective, we could see it splintering in a lot of different directions. And they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know it did that. And I was like, okay, that wasn't supposed, because I had seen launches before. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's not supposed to do that. Something's weird. And my other roommate, his name's James Hershey. James was a large black man from Sanford, Florida. And when I say he was like 6'5", weighed like 225, and just built like a Greek god. And he was wearing his boxer shorts, watching the launch in the living room. And he comes running out, like screaming at us, "The space shuttle blew up! The space shuttle blew up!" And he's like screaming. And I was like, oh, I knew something was wrong. So we all run back inside. Very similar to what a lot of people experience with 9/11.
Yeah.
And the thing I remember most about that day is we all decided to go back to the student center. And when we went back in, there was probably 400 people in the student center, and no one was talking.
Yeah. That was absolutely tragic. So 2 things I actually learned about like that whole thing. Mm-hmm. So, because I watched a documentary about it. One was actually the original plan was to send like an average citizen, like not specifically a teacher. So some of the candidates include like newscasters like Tom Brokaw, Walter Cronkite, like Peter Jennings, like those types. Another one person that was originally supposed to be part of it was Cale Spinney, who played Big Bird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sesame Street.
Yeah.
So
and I think they were like a few years away from Mr. Hooper dying. So imagine like then that was a real human, but imagine seeing like a fictional character that children looked up to.
That people actually knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't like I think you told me this. The next mission, if everything went well, they were supposed to put a miner in space the next mission.
Yeah.
And we still have yet to have anybody under the age.
No. I think like the youngest was like 25, but that was from like the Soviet Union. Like, if that was from like Russia, I should say. Like the Roscosmos.
All right. So on my list, like I said, in history, the ones I did, I'm going to go with number 6 on my list because I found this to be like the worst job I think any person could ever have in the history of life. Mm. All right? And it is a plague body collector from the Black Plague.
Oh, no.
Okay, this person's job was basically the Black Plague knocked out half of Europe. I mean, just took out like half of Europe in the 14th century. And the bodies were littered everywhere. I mean, they were just stacked up and you couldn't. Mm-hmm. So they had people that were assigned to be body collectors at that time. And his job of the body collector, it required the worker to collect the bodies using only a cart, a rag to cover their face, only their face, not their sores or anything like that, and flowers, which were believed to prevent collectors from contracting the disease. It didn't work.
No.
All right? So you know the song Ring Around the Rosie?
Yeah.
Pocket full of posies. That is who carried the posies, was the body collector. Oh. Ashes, ashes, they all fall down. So they burnt the bodies. So the entire Ring Around the Rosies stems around being a body collector during the Black Plague. Okay, that's a job I'll never want.
No,
I don't want that. Actually, all the ones.
I really hope.
I would like to be an astronaut.
Yeah, I mean, not really like a full like blown like go to the International Space Station, but like what like Blue Origin's doing, like with like the little flights that they have like in their capsule. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to be an astronaut, but body collector not so much.
Yeah.
All right, what's your next one? You said logger.
All right. So,
Oh wait, you're letting me pick. I'm sorry.
all right, so next four I actually have numbers for
Okay.
logging, miners, truck drivers, and roofers.
Okay, let's do miners.
Okay.
Like, and we're talking coal miners, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right.
Not what you think, Facebook.
Yeah, coal miners. Okay,
Yes.
because we have a connection to this, and I don't even know if you know this.
Yeah. Do you want to explain the connection first, or you want me to give you like the numbers?
Give the story, and I'll tell you a little bit more.
Yeah. So basically, based on like a 100,000 workers, there are at least 25.4 deaths per 100,000 miners.
Okay, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
25.4 deaths per 100,000 miners.
Okay, so every 100,000 of them, 25 die from this occupation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, the most common causes, like the most like common hazards include like the like respiratory, like black lung,
yeah.
falls, like explosions, like because you're working in such like a tightly sealed environment, like there's a lot of like dangerous chemicals in there. It can cause a reaction. Boom, everyone's dead. Fires and noise exposure, like it's because basically like you can get like you can get like a lot of damage like in your ears as well, like plus
Yeah,
also
'cause
going
of the explosions that would happen because to release the.
yeah plus also like you're digging it underground as well, like, so you still like getting like a little bit of pressure as well from that, like being like in like the mountain area of like West Virginia, going down into a mountain. You're not used to like those levels, I would say.
Yeah. So our connection is both your name and my name's Sam. Mm-hmm. All right, we're named after a man by the name of Samuel Edward Pizer. Sam Pizer is my mom's dad, my grandfather, my papa. All right, and he grew up in Pennsylvania, and he started working in the coal mines. He didn't graduate. He worked until he was in eighth grade, and he was immediately put into the coal mines because that's what you did in his town. By the time I met my grandfather, I actually could communicate with my grandfather. He was an undertaker at that time. But at the time when I met my grandfather, he worked deep in the coal mines. He worked there for about 6 years before he went into the Army. World War II broke out. He went into the Army. But he ended up dying at the age of 69 with lung cancer, which he smoked most of his life, but it also probably had a lot to do with what he inhaled. But throughout his entire life, my grandfather had a scar across his shoulder blades where he was working. He worked in like the lower levels of the mine, and he just constantly would rub that part of his back off of it. Yeah. And we're talking, he got it when he was 14, and he had that scar up until the day he died when he was 69 years old. Yeah. So to me, miners could be the most modern day, most dangerous. I know loggers I think are considered number one.
Yes.
But miners to me is something I don't think I could ever bring myself to do.
Yeah. So actually real quick. So when you were away during the BVI, I hosted trivia. Mm-hmm. That was fun, by the way, it being stressed out. Yeah, so my halftime question was, name 4 of the top 5 coal-producing states. Do you want to guess what number 1 was?
I'm assuming it's either West Virginia or Pennsylvania. I'm going to say Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania is a little bigger.
Yeah, so Pennsylvania actually made 7%, West Virginia 14%, 41% Wyoming.
Wyoming? Oh. Okay, and I think that came about later, like right now.
Yeah.
What was number 4?
4 was Illinois with 6% and Montana at 5%.
Okay. All right. So no, I mean West Virginia. When I think of coal miners, I think West Virginia first, Pennsylvania second, and I would have never had Wyoming.
Yeah, a lot of people did not have Wyoming for that one.
All right. All right. My creepy old ones.
Oh boy.
All right. This one is ancient Rome chariot racers.
Mm.
All right. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Ben-Hur.
I haven't seen it, but wasn't like a chariot race scene in Gladiator?
There was a chariot. There was a little one in Gladiator, but in Ben-Hur, in the movie, in the chariot race, an actual actor fell and died, and they left it in the movie. All right.
I'm not gonna pull that up. Damn.
All right. Don't pull it up. All right. Chariot racers were among the popular and celebrated members of society in ancient Rome. So they basically were our modern day Tom Brady's. You know, the gladiators and the chariot racers were these guys. All right, they competed in coliseums. The chariot races drew large crowds because of their high-speed racing and aggressive styles. The reason they died so often is the reins were tied around their wrist. So, like, you couldn't let go. You couldn't just fall out. You were drugged as the horses kept going and other ones ran over you. They actually physically tied the reins to the chariot racers. And if you, for any reason whatsoever, fell off, you were still attached to the chariot and the horse.
Jeez.
So they were basically, as soon as it got turned over, they were killed instantly.
Yeah.
So we don't have that kind of stuff going on. We have race car drivers, but they have a lot of safety devices and things like that. So.
I think like the last star car death was actually no, I think it was Blaise Alexander. But then before that, it was Earnhardt.
Yeah, and that's been 22 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess you want me to do loggers next because it is the most dangerous job out there. Do you want to guess? Do you want to guess per 100,000 workers how many died?
Per 100,000 workers. See, I can see this happening because you got the chainsaw, you got moving logs, you got, the mountain to deal with. Mm-hmm. You got there's so many factors there. You said 25 for the coal miner?
Yep.
I'm going to say it's twice that. I'm going to say 51.
132.7 per 100,000. Yeah.
Wow, that's 6 times as much, 5 times as much?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, obviously, the hazards include falling trees, equipment, hazardous working conditions such as steep slopes, slippery surfaces, rough terrain. But also other common hazards include like you standing out in the weather, like a thunderbolt can hit you instantly. You can also have insect you can be very allergic to insects, bees, wasps, stings. You are out
Snakes.
there Yeah. So have you ever seen anyone do you know anyone that used to be a logger? Have you ever had any horror stories?
I've had friends that were loggers, but they didn't have any major horror stories like that. They probably had injuries and stuff, but the woman who is the best athlete I've ever had a friend in my entire life. Her name is Bridget Gordon. Mm-hmm. I've talked about Bridget. She's a gold medalist. She won 2 national titles at Tennessee. She was in the very first expansion draft of the WNBA. Bridget's a beautiful woman, but her father was actually cutting down trees, and he was up in the tree, and the chainsaw kicked off a limb and came back and hit him in the neck. And unfortunately, no one could get to him, and that's how we lost, Mr. Gordon. But that to me, and I've always been petrified. When I've used chainsaws, which I've used very rarely.
Yeah,
I'm overly cautious on how I handle it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you can be overly cautious. You have to be cautious.
You have to be very cautious.
I can see that being the number one most dangerous job. Mm-hmm. And we were just talking about this the other day. I think it was Rebecca and I were talking about it. We have more trees now than we ever had in the history of the world.
Yeah, but then also Rebecca pulled up a Snapple cap that said like look one piece of paper chops down like 17 trees.
Yeah. I don't know if that's factual.
No, I don't think so as well. I think that picture was photoshopped.
I don't think Snapple was doing us right by that.
All right. So I think you have one more job. Then we have to thank our sponsors again.
Oh yes. Well, let's do a couple. I want to get a couple more in. All right, the number one in all-time history. All right, I want to do two of these. Number one all-time in history is what we're celebrating this weekend. Soldier.
Yeah.
A soldier. Throughout history, like, you know, and we still are battling certain wars around the world in the U.S. and stuff like that. But throughout history, the number one most dangerous job is the whole reason we're celebrating on Monday is the soldier. Mm-hmm. So I could not bring that one up. Yeah. You know, and considering which was the most dangerous of all the soldiers, it was the Spartan soldier. They were the first line of defense and fought using swords, shields, and arrows. They had to travel long distances to reach their enemies and often arrived exhausted and depleted. However, Spartan soldiers were still expected to fight no matter what. As they're surrendering, was the greatest sign of cowardness. So basically, if you're a Spartan soldier, you weren't even allowed to surrender, like even against all odds. And you know, I just want to take the time to say thank you, Memorial Day, to all those soldiers and families that have lost members, because this one's about lost members. And I want to say thank you to that. But I don't want to end on that one. I want to end on a little bit lighter note. This is the job that could have been a great job, or it could have been the worst job. All right? The food taster. So many kings and queens and emperors hired food tasters whose sole job was to make sure the royals' food was not poisoned. Although the tasters risked their lives by eating possibly poisoned food, they also got to enjoy some of the most delicious, expensive food that any member of the world had ever seen. So it's one of those things, 99% of the time, you had a great day at work.
But then that one time,
that one day. So I think that's a good and bad job. But what was the other job? You had another one then.
Yeah.
What was the ones you had left?
Yeah. So one more that I had left was truck drivers, and there's definitely a reason why Elon Musk wants to automate truck drivers, because, oh boy, like so so basically their fatal injury rate is 24.3 per 100,000 workers. That's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically their main like hazards are like fatigue, sleep deprivation, accidents, motion injuries like whiplash, exposure to hazardous materials like in the back of their trucks, mental health, and also definitely mental health issues like just like being out there on the road.
Yeah.
You're isolated from like your family. The only thing that you have is like your truck and the road beyond. Like that takes like a mental stress on people's psyche about like, can I even when will I go home? Like it's unfortunate, man.
All right. Yeah. And Rebecca cleared up our Snapple fact. For every ton of paper recycled, about 17 trees or
okay,
so.
it was
that makes
ton.
way more sense than a piece of paper. I completely misquoted that.
Yeah, so. We did. Don't community know it's Facebook.
All right. All right, we got to talk about our amazing sponsors. Talking about River and Fort. Just wonderful people over there. They do an amazing job. They have 3 levels of serving areas. You can sit outside on the lower deck, move up. Each time you move up, the view gets a little bit better.
Do you know where the view is?
It's really close to a sea, the river, and something else.
I believe it's called The Fort.
The Fort. That's it. That's the River and Fort. There you go. Very good. It's right there on Sponsor Row. Go check them out. Across from the Fort.
Yep.
All right. Staying on Sponsor Row, we have Meehan's Irish Pub, 3 bars in one. These guys, to me, it's one of the best bars in town. They have the best bar food. You love their mac and cheese.
Yes.
I love their shepherd's pie. I like their meatloaf. I mean, the fish and chip. Everything in there is good. Just a fun bar. They have live music inside and out. Go check out Meehan's, located right there on the bayfront on Avenida Menendez. City Gates Distillery, staying on Sponsor Row, right there across from the Fort. They have some unique whiskeys. Try them all out. See which one you like. They make great gifts. Great gifts for Father's Day coming up. Get in there, buy a gift certificate, let Dad get in there, do some tasting, and pick out the whiskey he likes. There's a little tip, Blake. Sticking with Sponsorship Row, St. Augustine Pirate Museum. These guys have over 800 artifacts. They have one of the original Jolly Rogers. There's only 2 of them in existence. One of them's right here in St. Augustine. A wonderful tour. If you go in there, ask for Captain Mayhem. He'll take great care of you. He's been on this show. He's hosted with me before. Just does a wonderful job. All right. Sponsors that we need to make sure we do not forget. Kresge, Abare, Kresge and Associates, the best CPA in the state of Florida. They've kept me out of trouble for years and years and years, and I appreciate everything they've done for me and the family and all my businesses. Go see Billy Abare over there at Abare, Kresge and Associates. Chesire Collision, Customs and Collisions.
There we go.
Thank you, Blake. I saw the look. You gave me the look. Customs and Collisions. These guys located off of Holmes Boulevard over there have the state-of-the-art facility. They can take whatever damaged vehicle you have. If you want to restore your car that you just absolutely love and it's a part of your life, take it over there and let them take care of you. Mm-hmm. All right. Blake, 7 wonders of the world.
Oh, boy.
All right. I've been to 2. You've been to 1. Mm-hmm. All right. I really want to knock all 7 of them off my list. But you're going to take 3 of them. I'm going to take 4 of them. Yep. Which one do you want to lead? Actually, I should lead off because I have 4.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to lead off. I'm going to bend down here and grab this one. All right. Mount Everest.
Oh, that was the first photo up.
Yeah. Mount Everest. Right there. You nailed it. All right. Some of the unique things. What do you think most people think Mount Everest is the tallest mountain in the world, right?
Yeah, but I believe it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, no.
It's not. It's actually, and I'm going to try and say it, Mauna Kea in Hawaii is the tallest mountain in the world. And the reason is because Mount Everest is the highest above ground peak in the world. But Mauna Kea goes so deep into the ocean, it's actually taller than Mount Everest. All right, so Mount Everest is now considered almost a tourist attraction.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
yes,
your friend Patrick Canan wants you to go.
But yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to make it. I think Patrick's still going to try and make it, but I'm not going to make it. It is part of the Himalayan mountain range. I still want to go, and I don't necessarily want to. I just want to put eyes on it. I don't necessarily want to do all it takes to get to the top.
No.
All right. So it is right on the border of China and Nepal. Mm-hmm. So at the peak, it actually separates the 2 countries. All right. And it is named Mount Everest. Do you have any idea why it's named Mount Everest? Are you reading the same article I'm reading right now?
I don't. So I don't think I have the same article as you, but do go ahead.
All right. It is named after an Englishman by the name of George Everest, who was a surveyor of India. Okay, and I guess he's the first one who kind of discovered that. And Mount Everest roughly translates from the Tibetan, which is Choma Longa. It roughly translates as Mother Goddess of the World.
Yeah. So I actually realized I actually do have it on my phone right here. So I actually do have the information with me.
All right. What are your other wonders?
Yeah. So I'm gonna.
Do you have any desire
to go to Everest?
To go to Everest?
No.
All right.
The cold's not okay. I can do a little bit of cold, not snow cold.
You're gonna stay in the resort in Nepal or something, right?
Do they even have those in,
I don't
in
know.
Nepal? If they don't have like any room service, then no.
Yeah, no room service. You might be a little too bouge.
Well,
I'll blame that on me and your mom. That's entirely our fault.
All right. Anyway, the Grand Canyon.
Yep.
All right. So you've been there.
Yes.
Like multiple times for like multiple Vegas trips.
Yep.
I haven't because I mainly wanted to stay in the casinos and gamble.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically,
you had the opportunity to go this year.
Yeah.
Or last year. Was it
this year? It was this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Grand Canyon. It was it was formed by the erosion from the Colorado River for like billions and years. And basically is, and you can see like there's like different layers of different sediments, rocks, and it's just like absolute beauty, like the reds, like the forest seed growing up, like it is beautiful. Like and so what was your experience like at the Grand Canyon?
All right, so the Grand Canyon actually is shared amongst about 5 or 6 Indian tribes. All right, some of it's owned by the U.S., some of it's owned by the Indian tribes. The U.S. side doesn't really allow you to like land a helicopter down there.
Yeah.
We landed a helicopter at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and I'm telling you right now, both the wonders of the world I've been to completely take your breath away.
Yeah, I agree with
that. And the Grand Canyon's no different. And fortunate enough that I was able to fly in a helicopter to fly down into the Grand Canyon, land at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, have a little picnic, stack a couple rocks, because you got to have a rock tower. If you're gonna be at the Grand Canyon, you got to build a rock tower. So we were able to stack a couple rocks, and it's one of the things if you haven't been and you have the opportunity to go, you need to go.
Yeah.
Blake, so next time we go, we'll come up with a different adventure. But next time we go, I want you to go to the Grand Canyon.
Now, weren't you part of a helicopter tour in 2020, like going to the Grand Canyon?
Oh.
And that was the day.
Yeah, that was a really strange experience. So it was prior to COVID. And I did a helicopter tour going down to the Grand Canyon, get back to the resort, and find out that that's the day Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter ride.
Yeah.
So it's just weird timing, and it just was, So that was the exact day that Kobe perished in a helicopter ride, and I was on a helicopter that same day earlier in the morning in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So definitely think you want to talk about like a natural a several wonder that we both of us have been to.
Oh yeah, we definitely got to talk about this one.
And definitely your favorite country to say.
Oh, it's such a fun country to say. There's no better country to say than Zimbabwe.
But
it's fun to say. Just say Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
It's fun to say.
Yeah. But to be fair, though, this seventh wonder shares a country, though.
Yeah, it actually connects two. It connects Zimbabwe and Zambia. Mm-hmm. The Zambezi River separates the two countries.
And if you're wondering, yes, we're talking about the Victoria Falls. We haven't said the name yet.
Yeah, and we're talking about Victoria Falls. It's almost 5 times the height of Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
So if you've been to Niagara Falls, it's a baby.
Nick will lend a walk over this.
Yeah, it's an absolute baby. Because you have to wear a poncho because it's
so misty.
constantly misting, and you can be a quarter mile away
and still
getting the mist on you. All right.
The pavement like that we were walking on was slick.
Oh yeah, you were
struggling,
nudging along is I think the best way to put it. All right, so Victoria Falls is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. It's because it is the largest waterfall in the entire world.
Yeah.
So we're talking pure mass. There are some that are taller, but this is just the pure mass in the volume of water. This one is 1,708 meters wide. So times that by 3. That's about what you'll get in feet.
Yeah.
And it is in height 108 meters tall, which times it by 3, and that's approximately what you'll get there. It's ginormous. But I got to talk about the day we had over the Zambezi River.
Yeah.
All right. So the family did an excursion, and we decided to pay for every possible excursion we could do over the Zambezi River. We did. It's the largest zip line.
Yeah.
Which we zip lined from Zimbabwe over to Zambia, and then Zambia back to Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we did that, and then we did a swing.
Yeah.
Which was fun, and then we did a fall, a 700-foot fall. Blake, you want to tell them about your experience of the fall?
Yeah. So you and Ty were sitting next to each other.
Yes.
I was sitting with my mom.
Yep.
And basically, it was basically like how deep of a drop was it? Like 600 feet.
It was 700 feet.
700 feet. So basically,
it was a 700-foot drop to the bottom of the rope. It was basically a giant
cannonball swing,
bungee drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it swung outward instead of back up.
Yep. They basically we had to walk our way up. But during the swing itself, I may or may not have passed out.
You may have lost consciousness.
Yeah.
Because you were going so fast. And luckily, it was caught
on camera.
On the GoPro. So, but the fact that you did it, a lot of people wouldn't have stepped off that ledge.
Yeah.
The beauty is we have it all on camera.
But the only thing that I didn't want to say about it was I had a hard time walking up that mountain because it didn't like rope you back up. You had to walk up the mountain a little bit at a time.
Yeah, you were with me on the swing, and we got twisted, and I had to grab you by the collar and yank you up because we got twisted up and had to climb up the mountain. So
sorry,
but Victoria Falls, another one. I can't imagine what the other ones look like, but I've been to the Grand Canyon, I've been to Victoria Falls. And if the other 5 take your breath away like these 2, I gotta go. I just gotta go see them.
All right. So my next one is the Harbor of Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, I don't get this. How this is such a big thing.
Yeah. So basically,
it's beautiful, but I don't get it.
It's definitely nice, but so basically, so on the website here it says, it is the largest natural bay. Yeah. Sadly, they did not give the numbers of it, so which is awful. Dang you, website, because I think you got off the same website I did. But yeah, so it's called Guanabara Bay. It's the world's largest natural bay based on volume. It's surrounded by granite rock formations and monoliths, which add to the striking visual appeal of the area. And of course, the harbor has seen a lot of activity from humans, such as the city of Rio, public beaches, Copacabana, an active harbor. But the natural beauty is still there. Like the water is still clear.
Yeah.
And that's and like no like algae blooms, no like waste or anything like that. Like it's still damn pretty.
It's impressive, but I we've been to some very pretty places and stuff like that. I think it's one of those I have to go to probably appreciate it.
That's probably it.
You know, because my love for the British Virgin Islands and that.
I mean, also when most people think about like Rio, they think of the yay big Jesus statue.
Yeah.
The Christ the Redeemer.
Well, and that's one of the man-made wonders of the world.
Along with the Astrodome.
Yeah. All right, here we go. This one is in Mexico. I did not know of this one until I read about the 7 wonders of the world. Did you know about this one, Blake?
I did not.
All right, and if I say the name wrong, I apologize. The Paracutan volcano, or Parchutan volcano.
If you believe that he misspelled it, please take out your la chancla and slap him.
Yeah. Feel free to put the hand up and smack.
No. The this.
The flop.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So it is found in Michoacan, Mexico. The cone has only really existed since 1943. When it surged up out of the ground and relatively a flat cornfield. So you got this pulled up, Blake?
Yep.
So but prior to 1943, this was a flat cornfield. All right? And I lost my place. It surged out of the ground in a relatively flat cornfield, making it the youngest volcano in the northern hemisphere. At the time that it surged, it also erupted and continued to erupt for over a period of 9 years. For 9 years, this thing was bellowing. All right. The volcano is considered dormant and is a popular tourist attraction. Visitors are able to climb the volcanic peak and view the hardened lava that flows, including encased ruins in the San Juan I can't say that word. The church that's there. So I think this one's one. You know, Mexico is a good travel destination. I think this one's one we can knock off the list fairly easily. But I don't understand how. So are we going to have 8 wonders of the world if something else happens because 1943, all the other ones took millions of years to create. This one's like 1943.
Yeah, I mean, what can replace it though? Like, can you think of one like right now?
No, I don't think we can. So I don't think we can.
Yeah.
All right, this one's one. I think I'm going to say the volcano or the one you're about to mention are the ones that are probably be the next one that gets knocked off the list.
Oh, really? So mine's next one up. You know, you're saying the Northern Lights aren't a 7th wonder?
The Northern Lights are. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to say that one, or the volcano are the ones that I probably will visit next.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
I mean?
Yeah,
because Australia takes too long. That's a Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have the Northern Lights.
Okay. All right. So Northern Lights. So basically, they're also known as Aurora Borealis. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Geez, I'm just as bad as a speaker as you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you get it naturally.
True. Yeah. So this is caused when electrically charged particles caused by sun flares or extreme sun activity reach the gaseous particles found in the Earth's atmosphere. This results in the moving and all-striking rainbow of moving colors that has to be seen to be truly taken in. Like this is like I like this photo does not like show like what's like the best of it. Like it's much more brighter. You get to see like all the colors moving around. It has to be stacked because otherwise the copyright clowns would take over this channel and we don't want that.
No. All right. So Aurora Borealis. It can be seen in Alaska. Mm-hmm. Pretty much anywhere in the North Pole, northern Canada, Iceland, Greenland, Norway, Sweden, or Finland. Mm-hmm. All these countries. Do you remember when we were in Zimbabwe, we saw the Southern Cross, the lights that were out of the Southern Cross. So if you see the Southern Cross, you got to go see the Northern Lights, right?
Yeah.
So
but does it say so? So the South Pole does not get like Northern Lights, correct?
No.
Okay. So what does it say? What happens if like scientists are saying like all poles might flip soon? So basically Antarctica might be like the North Pole in like 100,000 years, and Canada might.
In 100,000 years. Yeah. I was like, okay, because I mean I know the North Pole is moving. It's shifting, like, so it throws off GPSs and they have to recalibrate the GPSs because the North Pole moves like 6 feet a year or something like that. So, is that what you're saying after?
No. They literally flip, like, so
when the axis gets so far turned, it's going to rotate all the way over?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't think any of us will be here for that.
I know. But I really want to see like what happens, like if it happens today. Like,
all right. Our last one, and then we're going to talk about topics for next week. All right. So you and I have been to the largest reef in the Atlantic. All right, we've been to that reef.
Yeah.
That one's a baby compared to this. This is the largest living organism in the entire world. All right, largest living organism in the entire world, and it is the Great Barrier Reef. All right, it's the largest coral reef system in the world. It is made up of 2,900 smaller reef sections, and it has actually 900 islands that make up the reef. The reef system is located off the coast of Queensland, Arizona, Australia. The reef contains a huge variety of coral, fish, marine species, and plant life, and tiny aquatic organisms to sharks, turtles, and rays. So this thing is just filled with life right now. But with the changing environment and stuff like that, the reef is actually getting smaller.
Yeah. All
right. So the reef you and I were on was off the coast of Anegada. And it was only a couple miles difference, but this one is 2,300 kilometers. All right, and 344,400 square kilometers. All right, so to put it in perspective, 5 kilometers is 3.1 miles. All right, so just so you can kind of do your math there, 6.2 if you do it by 10. If you want to do the math on that. Blake, of these 7, all right, you've already been to Victoria Falls. You don't have to go to that one. I think you are going to make it to the Grand Canyon because that's the easiest one for you. Which one of these on the list is the one that you want to see the most of?
Oh.
Audience out there, answer the same.
Besides Grand Canyon, I'll probably say Northern Lights.
The Northern Lights? All right. So you want to stay in a glass igloo and look at the Northern Lights? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because isn't that what they have in the picture that you showed?
Basically, yes.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck. I think the Northern Lights and Mount Everest are must-sees for me. I'd like to see the volcano. I think the volcano sounds cool. Australia, it's going to have to be one of those trips that I can spend 2 weeks and get away from work for that long. I can't miss Bollox for that long.
Yeah. So me and Lenny won't be as good as
you and Lenny are going to have to hold down the fort if I go to the Great Barrier Reef. And now I can't scuba dive because my ears are so bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, actually, I can't snorkel either because when I went down to Key West, I got like a bad like reaction I started getting like hives everywhere.
Oh, with the salt water.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're an indoor person.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Blake, I think next week, I like the Founding Fathers thing. Mm-hmm. You good with that one?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And Lenny will be back next week. And I hope he's having an amazing time over in Croatia. But I want to say again, thank you to all our sponsors. Support our sponsors out there. Quick rundown: City Gates Distillery, Chesire Customs and Collisions, Abare, Kresge and Associates, Meehan's Irish Pub, St. Augustine Pirate Museum, and River and Fort. make sure you get out there and support these guys. These guys are the guys that are keeping us on there, making sure we're able to do this fun stuff. Lets us do our research. Blake, did you enjoy the research this week?
Yes, I actually did research this week.
You did a great job this week. I appreciate you, Blake. And this is Bollox Talks and Tangents, and we'll see you next week at 6:34.